Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Montreal, Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Today we're diving into some intriguing rumors and developments that could have a huge impact on the Montreal Canadiens' future. We've all been watching the offseason unfold with great anticipation, and one of the most talked about names lately is Nazem Kadri. That's right, Kadri's name has been floating around, linked to the Canadiens, and fans are buzzing about what this could mean for the team's direction. But as always in the NHL, things aren't as straightforward as they seem, and there are some interesting twists and turns in this story. So let's start from the beginning. Last week, reports surfaced indicating that the Canadiens had shown interest in Kadri. Now, for those who follow the Habs closely, you know that the team has been desperately searching for a solid second-line center. It's no secret that after losing some key players in recent seasons, Montreal's depth at the center position has become a glaring issue. Kadri, with his experience, leadership, and scoring ability, seemed like an ideal fit, especially considering his age. He's currently 34, turning 35 in September, and his proven track record of performing in high-pressure situations. But here's where it gets interesting. According to Jimmy Murphy and other insiders, the interest from the Canadiens isn't being reciprocated. Kadri himself, it appears, isn't fully sold on the idea of coming to Montreal, at least not at this moment. Now, why would that be? Well, one possible reason is that Kadri might be looking for a team with a better shot at competing for the Stanley Cup right now. It's no secret that Kadri has been a guy who's shown he can thrive in playoff situations, and naturally, he'd want to join a team with a real chance of contending. Montreal, as we all know, has been in a bit of a rebuilding phase, trying to find its rhythm after some tough seasons. But what makes this situation so fascinating is that Kadri has expressed a willingness to waive his no-trade clause to join either the Canadiens or his former team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's right, Kadri is open to moving, but the question remains, which team is really in the driver's seat here? And that brings us to the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is where it gets a little bittersweet for Leafs fans. Kadri, who was drafted by Toronto back in 2009 and played with the team until 2019, still has strong connections there. But with Mitch Marner now firmly established as a key piece for Toronto, and the Leafs having invested heavily in their core, the question is whether they're willing to part ways with Kadri. Toronto fans remember well what Kadri brought to the table: his grit, his scoring touch, and his leadership on the ice. Losing him would hurt, no doubt about it. But the Leafs are also in a position where they might look to shake things up, especially if they're considering how to optimize their roster for a deep playoff run. Now, let's switch gears and look at the Calgary Flames. Interestingly enough, Kadri has been a part of Calgary's roster, and there's been some speculation about whether the Flames are interested in moving him. The Flames have a solid group of forwards, and expectations are always sky-high in Calgary, especially with the passionate fanbase and the history of success. But if the rumors are true, it seems Calgary might be considering moving Kadri, perhaps to make room for new pieces or to address other roster needs. It's a bit of a puzzle because, on one hand, Kadri's skill set would fit well with the Canadiens' need for a reliable second-line center. On the other hand, the Flames' interest in trading him could mean they're looking to shuffle their lineup or rebuild in some capacity. But here's the thing. Why would Calgary want to part ways with Kadri? Well, maybe it's about team direction or salary cap considerations. Or perhaps the Flames see other options on their roster that could better fit their long-term plans. Regardless, it's a situation that adds another layer of intrigue to the story, especially when we consider how the Canadiens could potentially benefit from acquiring a player of Kadri's caliber. Now, looking at the bigger picture, the Canadiens are in an interesting position heading into this season. They've made some key off-season moves, but they still need to fill that second-line center role with someone who can produce consistently and bring leadership to the locker room. Kadri, with his proven ability to perform under pressure, would be a perfect fit in Montreal. He's a player who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, who can score clutch goals, and who can provide the veteran presence that young players like Logan Mailloux and others on the roster could really learn from. And speaking of Mailloux, I just want to remind you guys, for those who prefer the interview style or want to see a deeper dive into the Canadiens, roster and prospects, I recently had a full chat with him. It's packed with insights into what the team is working on, their current mindset, and what we can expect from the young defenseman in the upcoming season. You can check out the full interview in the link below. Trust me, it's worth your time. Now back to Kadri. We have to consider his age, his style of play, and his recent performances. Despite being in his mid-30s, Kadri has shown that he still has plenty of gas in the tank. His playoff experience, in particular, is invaluable. The Canadiens could really use someone like him to anchor their second line, bring leadership, and mentor the younger players. Plus, Kadri's willingness to waive his no-trade clause demonstrates his openness to a move, which is a big plus for Montreal if they decide to pursue him seriously. But as we know, hockey deals aren't just about fit and desire. There's also the question of value. What would it take for the Canadiens to acquire Kadri? Would it be a straightforward trade, or would it involve draft picks or prospects? These are questions that will play out in the coming weeks. And right now, it's all about timing. The offseason is the perfect window for these kinds of moves, and Montreal's management will have to weigh whether Kadri's addition would push the team closer to their Stanley Cup goal, or if they should hold tight and wait for a better opportunity. And let's not forget, the NHL offseason is always full of surprises. Rumors swirl, players express their preferences, and teams look to shake things up. The Canadiens, with their recent rebuild and promising young core, are positioning themselves for a competitive push in the next few seasons. Adding a veteran like Kadri could provide that immediate boost they need, especially considering how he's thrived in playoff environments before. His experience and leadership could be exactly what Montreal needs to take that next step, especially if they can find a way to make the numbers work financially. Now, for the fans listening, I want to emphasize that the offseason is never dull. Every rumor, every whisper, every news item can shift the course of the team's future. The Canadiens are at a crucial juncture, and whether Kadri joins or not, the team is clearly looking to strengthen the roster in ways that will make a real difference. The upcoming season could see some surprises, and the fans' role in supporting the team through the ups and downs is more crucial than ever. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Kadri would be a great addition to the team? Are you hopeful that the Canadiens can pull off this move? Or do you think they should hold their cards and wait for a better opportunity? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Montreal Canadiens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most interesting in recent memory, and the Canadiens fans are right in the thick of it. We're witnessing a team that is hungry, determined, and ready to make some noise in the NHL. Whether Kadri ends up in Montreal or not, this story highlights just how dynamic and unpredictable this league can be. So, keep your eyes peeled, stay passionate, and let's continue to support our team through thick and thin. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next update.